Have you ever settled into your airplane seat, glanced around the cabin, noticed something odd? Maybe, a strange little hook on the wing or a tiny, almost invisible hole in the window pane. These are not just random design quirks. They are part of a hidden world of engineering, each with a specific and often critical purpose. Airplanes are marvels of modern science, packed with features designed for safety, efficiency, and comfort. Many of these elements are so subtle that they blend into the background, their true functions remaining a mystery to the millions of people who fly every day. This article is your key to unlocking those secrets. Before we take off on this journey of discovery, consider subscribing to our newsletter to get more exclusive insights into the world of aviation delivered straight to your inbox. Our flight today will be an exploration of the familiar yet unknown. We will peel back the layers of the aircraft cabin to reveal the logic behind its most puzzling features. Think of it as a behind-the-scenes tour that you can take from the comfort of your own seat on your next journey. Every switch, every symbol, and every seemingly out-of-place component has a story to tell. These stories are not just about nuts and bolts. They are about the incredible ingenuity that keeps us safe while soaring at 35,000 feet. Understanding these details can transform a routine flight into a fascinating experience, allowing you to appreciate the immense complexity and thoughtful design that makes air travel possible. The next time you board a plane, you will see it differently. You will no longer be just a passenger. You will be an informed observer, able to spot the clever solutions that engineers have devised to conquer the challenges of flight. From the way the cabin air is managed to the emergency systems hidden in plain sight, you are surrounded by fascinating technology. This knowledge does more than just satisfy curiosity. It can also help to demystify the experience of flying, making it less intimidating and more enjoyable for everyone. So, buckle up and prepare for an enlightening trip through the lesser-known corners of commercial aircraft. We are about to decode the secrets that have been flying right over your head. As we delve into these features, remember that each one represents a solution to a specific problem posed by the extreme environment of high-altitude flight. The air is thin, the temperatures are freezing, and the pressures are immense. The aircraft is a self-contained vessel designed to protect its occupants from these harsh conditions, and every single part plays a role in that mission. Let's start with a feature you have likely noticed while gazing out at the clouds: the tiny hole at the bottom of the airplane window. Close-up of the tiny hole. This is not a defect or a crack, but a crucial safety component known as a bleed hole. Airplane windows are actually made of 3 separate panes of acrylic. The innermost pane, the one you can touch, is called the scratch pane. Its main job is to protect the other panes from, you guessed it, scratches and smudges. The middle pane is one of the pressure management layers. The outer pane is the primary pressure-bearing layer that faces the outside air. The bleed hole is located in this middle pane. The purpose of this small but mighty hole is to regulate air pressure. It allows pressure between the cabin and the air gap between the middle and outer panes to equalize gradually. This means that the outer pane takes on almost all the pressure stress during a flight. The middle pane is essentially there as a failsafe, ready to take over if the outer pane were to ever fail, an extremely rare event. The bleed hole ensures that this backup pane is not under constant stress, preserving its integrity for when it might be needed most. It's a simple yet brilliant piece of engineering that works silently to keep you safe while you enjoy the view. Furthermore, the bleed hole serves a secondary but equally important function. It helps prevent the window from fogging up or frosting over. So, that tiny dot is also your personal defroster. Have you ever noticed a small, black or red triangle on the cabin wall, positioned just above a few of the windows? This isn't a piece of random decoration or a stray sticker. These triangles serve a very specific and important purpose for the flight crew. They mark the seats that offer the clearest and most direct view of the aircraft's wings: flaps, slats, leading edge, trailing edge. From this vantage point, crew can perform quick visual inspections without guessing which window offers the best perspective. For instance, in cold weather, flight crews need to be certain that the wings are completely free of ice and snow before takeoff. While de-icing procedures are thorough, a final visual check is often performed from inside the cabin. The triangles show them exactly where to look from to get an unobstructed view of these critical control surfaces. These markers are sometimes referred to as William Shatner's seats, a humorous nod to a famous 1963 episode of The Twilight Zone titled Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. In the episode, Shatner's character is the only one who sees a gremlin on the wing of the plane, tearing at the engine. While the triangles are not there for spotting mythical creatures, They do designate the optimal spot for observing the real-world condition of the wing. From this viewpoint, the crew can check the position of the flaps and slats to confirm they have extended or retracted correctly, or look for any signs of physical damage or other anomalies that might have occurred during flight. For anyone who has ever felt a bit trapped in an aisle seat, this next feature is a game changer. It is a common frustration. You need to get up, but your neighbor is asleep. The armrest on the aisle side seems fixed, making your exit an awkward shuffle. Many aisle armrests are not as rigid as they appear. There is often a small hidden button on the underside near the hinge, or a small recessed lever. Pressing the button releases the locking mechanism, allowing the armrest to pivot up to a vertical position, flush with the seat back. This isn't just for comfort, its main purpose is safety. In an emergency, every second counts. A fixed armrest can become an obstacle. Raising it widens the pathway to the aisle. Wider pathways equal faster, more orderly evacuations. Flight attendants are trained to raise these armrests during emergencies. Knowing this helps boarding and deplaning too, especially for passengers with mobility challenges, for people carrying bulky bags, and for parents with small children. By raising the armrest, you create a much more open space to maneuver in and out of your seat. On your next flight, feel for this little button on the underside of the aisle armrest. Once you find it, you'll unlock a new level of comfort and convenience. Here's a feature that often leaves passengers scratching their heads: the presence of ashtrays in airplane lavatories. Smoking has been banned on virtually all commercial flights worldwide for decades, with the United States implementing its ban in 2000. So why do brand new, modern aircraft still roll off the assembly line with ashtrays installed in the toilet doors? The answer is a fascinating intersection of regulation and human psychology. It is a classic case of preparing for the worst-case scenario, even if that scenario involves someone breaking a very clear and well-known rule. The Federal Aviation Administration and other global aviation authorities mandate that ashtrays must be present in airplane lavatories. This is not to encourage smoking, but to provide a safe place to extinguish a cigarette if a passenger does decide to illegally light up. The logic is simple. If someone is determined to smoke, they will. When they are finished, they need a safe place to dispose of the cigarette butt. The absolute worst place for them to put it is in the trash bin, which is filled with dry, flammable paper products. A fire in a trash bin on an airplane is an extremely serious emergency. In 1973, a fire started in the lavatory of Varig Flight 820, likely caused by a cigarette thrown in a trash bin. The resulting crash near Paris led to the deaths of 123 people. This and other incidents prompted regulators to enforce the rule. Even on non-smoking flights, a safe disposal method must be available. When the oxygen masks drop from the panel above your head, it's a moment that signals a serious situation, usually a loss of cabin pressure. During the safety briefing, you are instructed to pull the mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. But here's a surprising fact. The oxygen you are breathing is not coming from a compressed air tank like a scuba diver's. Instead, the overhead panel contains a chemical oxygen generator. When you pull the mask, you are pulling a firing pin that triggers a chemical reaction inside a canister. This reaction rapidly produces breathable oxygen for you. This chemical cocktail typically includes sodium chlorate, barium peroxide, potassium perchlorate. When ignited, these chemicals burn at a high temperature, releasing a steady stream of oxygen for about 12 to 15 minutes. That might not sound like a long time, but it is more than enough for the pilots to perform an emergency descent to a lower, breathable altitude, usually below 10,000 feet. You might also notice a burning smell when the oxygen starts to flow. This is a normal byproduct of the chemical reaction and is nothing to be alarmed about. Now let's turn our attention to the outside of the aircraft, specifically to those small, sometimes yellow hooks you might spot on the surface of the wings. These are not for towing the plane or for any aerodynamic purpose. They are another critical safety feature, designed for use in a very specific type of emergency, a water landing. In the unlikely event of an evacuation onto the water, passengers exiting through the overwing emergency exits would need to walk on the wing. Flight attendants are trained to attach a rope from the inside of the emergency exit door frame to these hooks on the wing. This creates a handrail, providing a secure guide for passengers to hold onto as they make their way across the slippery wing surface to the slide raft. We have journeyed through the hidden architecture of an airplane, uncovering the purpose behind bleed holes, black triangles, secret buttons, safety hooks. Each feature, no matter how small, tells a story of innovation, safety, and meticulous design. The world of aviation is filled with these fascinating details, all working in concert to make modern air travel one of the safest forms of transportation in history. The next time you're flying, look around you. You are no longer just a passenger, but an insider who understands the secret language of the aircraft cabin. The familiar environment will now seem richer and more interesting. This exploration is just the beginning. There are countless other features and procedures in aviation that are just as fascinating. From the shape of the wingtips, called winglets, that reduce drag and save fuel, to the reason the cabin lights are dimmed for takeoff and landing, which is to help your eyes adjust to the dark in case of an emergency. Every aspect of your flight is carefully considered. We encourage you to stay curious, to ask questions, and to continue learning about the incredible science that gets you from one city to another. The more you understand, the more you can appreciate the marvel of flight. The complexity of an aircraft is a beautiful thing, representing the culmination of over a century of human ingenuity. It is a field where safety is paramount, and redundancy is built into every system. Knowing about the ashtray in the lavatory or the purpose of the hooks on the wing does more than just satisfy curiosity. It builds confidence in the systems that are in place to protect you. It helps demystify the experience of flying, replacing anxiety with a sense of wonder and appreciation for the thousands of people and countless hours of design that make your journey possible. To ensure you don't miss our next adventure, please subscribe to our newsletter or follow our channel. Thank you for flying with us on this journey of discovery. Stay curious and fly safe.